Hey, Emory Outdoors here, and I wanted to talk about my cooking gear. So when I go out kayak camping or canoe camping or even car camping, I've got different cook sets that I take. So this is my solo kit that I take for cooking, and then this Yeti Go box I'll take if I'm going in the canoe and I've got 2 or 3 people going in a group, and then when I go car camping, this will work for 4 or 5 people. And I'll go through these at a later date, but I did want to just kind of show the different sizes of the boxes. This box is really heavy. One person can carry it, but it's much easier with 2 people. And then the Yeti Go box, it's easy to carry. It doesn't weigh as much. And then of course this one fits in my kayak. So let me go through that. So when I go camping, I've got this checklist that I made, and I've got it listed on my coffee page, and I'll have a link down below in the description. And it's just a checklist of all the stuff that I take. It does have a section on here for cooking and food prep. Then it's also got shelter and sleep system, comfort, stuff like that, and then weather. So it's a good little list. It's downloads free. If you would like to make a donation, it helps me out to make content like this, but the download is free, so no pressure. So let me pull this stuff out of this bag. And then we'll run through it real quick. So this is just a little tote bag, nothing special about it. Got an American flag on it, it's kind of cool, but it's just a tote bag. So for cooking, I absolutely love the Firebox products, and it's firebox.com. He makes some really cool products. So for my small kit, I use their smallest stove that they make, and this is a little Firebox Nano, and just folds up, it unfolds, a little grate falls down. The tin that it comes in has this X pattern in it. And you just line it up and it sets in this tin, and it protects the ground. If I'm cooking on a picnic table, I've got this piece of this fireproof felt, fire resistant, and what I'll do is I'll set it on the table. I'll set the stove on it, and then I don't have to worry about scorching the wood underneath. I've got this little folding windscreen. So you use that to block the wind so it doesn't put out the fire. I'm going to move that out of the way for right now. And then I've got a little alcohol burner, You unscrew the lid, you put alcohol, and I've got this little bottle. You unscrew the lid, and then you press down on it, and it pours out. But the nice thing is, you tighten the lid down, you can't press on it, and it doesn't spill usually. This is a little windscreen that you can use, either like that, or you can just put it like that and it'll block the wind. It's the same height, so when you put a pot on here, it's good. And then I just take my little alcohol burner and you can drop it down in there, and that holds it up. So you've got this like 1-inch spacing between the flame and the bottom of the pot. Now the other thing you can do with this is I can put twigs in here, or little small pieces of wood, and I can burn it. So it's a very useful stove. Really like it. They also make a gas cylinder burner that you can use, but I either like the sticks or the alcohol, and a lot of times I just use the alcohol. I'm going to push this back for just a second, and I'm going to talk about my pots and pans that I use, and I'll refer back to this in just a second. So this is probably, I don't know, 2.5 inches thick. I move the handle. I've got a plate. I can use this as a cutting board. It's a Cedar Summit. This thing folds down, so you know, if you really want to use it as a little plate. I usually just leave the lip up. And I've got a little jet boil pan. It's non-stick. The handle folds, and this sits right on the firebox, and you can cook all kinds of stuff in it. And I just carry just a little microfiber towel. Just nice to have. So this is the Cedar Summit little pot. It's got a metal bottom. It's got silicone sides with a metal ring in here. It's also got a lid with a strainer, so you can, drain water. You cannot use this on open flame, so I have to use the alcohol stove if I'm going to use this. And that just sits on there, and you can boil water, you can cook in it, whatever you need to do, and it has a lid. And something that I figured out I can do is I like to cook while I'm out, and I'll cook stuff with multiple ingredients. Some of the stuff takes longer, and So like one of my last trips, I cooked some potatoes and carrots. And the potatoes and the carrots, you know, they needed to cook for a while. So I cooked them in the pan. Then I dumped the potatoes and carrots into my pot. And then I had some little beef strips that I cooked. And to keep the potatoes and the carrots warm, I just took that and I set it right on top of the meat. And then it acted as kind of a lid for it. It's still got a gap, but it also kept my veggies warm. And it actually cooked them a little bit more. But so that's kind of a cool thing that you can do. And then, but wait, there's more. I've got this tea kettle, and it pops open, and it's got a lid, and I can put this, it's got the same metal bottom, so the alcohol stove is great, and I can cook on that, or heat water for hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee, but hot chocolate. And inside of that, I have two of these little mugs, and they're silicone. They've got a real stiff rim, and these work great. And the nice thing is they fold down. And they fit back inside the tea kettle. The tea kettle fits back in the pot. Lid goes on it. And these little silicone handles, they fold over into this little tab. Nice small container. So as far as utensils go, I carry this little Jetboil spatula, and that works real good, and it folds pretty flat. And then I've got this Sea to Summit knife. This thing is really sharp. And like I say, I can, you know, cut stuff in here. Then I've got the Sea to Summit. This has a little silicone holder thing. I've got a spoon, a fork, and a knife. The knife is serrated. It cuts steak pretty good, chicken, stuff like that. But the cool thing is the shape of the silverware. It nests really good. So it's only that thick. And then this is a little silicone. And you just slide that on. And then the trick with the silicone thing is there's a magnet here. So I can take this knife and I can stick it right on there. And then I've got all this stuff contained. It's easier to keep up with. So I've got a little bottle of olive oil, and I refill it from time to time before I go on another trip. I'll probably refill it. And then I've got these vials, these glass vials. And I've got salt, I've got pepper, I've got some Badia seasoning, and then I've got another seasoning called Slap Ya Mama. And I just write on them with a Sharpie. I have to redo it every now and then, but that holds, you know, more than enough seasoning. And I just put all this stuff in a Ziploc bag. And that way, if any of it leaks, it's inside the plastic bag. It doesn't make a mess. I've got an old Altoids tin, and I keep a lighter, a little flashlight, and this is actually a can opener. This folds open. Oops. That folds open and you can use it to open cans with. And then the cool thing is it folds flat. And I carry, you know, the microfiber, and I use that. I'll put this in the pan, and then when I put my pot in there, the bottom of the pot doesn't scratch the pan. And I just fold that over. I put the handle down, holds it all together, and I put it in the plate. And then the last thing I carry is I've got a Ziploc bag, I've got a full-size kitchen trash bag, and then I've got a couple of the plastic grocery bags to carry trash. If I've got stuff that smells, I'll put it in the Ziploc bag, and that way, you know, the rest of my gear doesn't smell like food or waste, you know. Then I've got another piece of gear that I take camping with me, and it's the thermocell. And I've only got one of these, so I'll move it from kit to kit. And that helps with the mosquitoes. They can be pretty fierce. And then I've got a Granford Brooks axe. Or I think this is a hatchet they call it, but this thing is sharp as can be right from the factory. I've sharpened it a couple of times since I've had it, but oh, it's such a pleasure to have this thing. Now, I don't take this on every trip, but I'll take it on a lot of them. And then I've also got one of these folding little saws. And this I will take because it's so much nicer to just be able to cut wood easily. So I believe that is one more thing. This is the UCO candle lantern. I love these things. I've got the little reflector that goes behind it, and it does a pretty good job at reflecting the light, kind of directing it. But the cool thing is this thing folds down that small, so the glass is protected inside of it, and then when you use it you can hang it and it puts out a nice light. So sometimes when I'm camping, I'll use this instead of having a fire. You know, if I just want the ambiance. And then it takes candles, and the candles burn for 9 hours, and there's a spring that pushes the candle up. So it's always right at the top, and so the candle flame is all, or the candle, yeah, the flame is always the same. Now I've actually got 2 of those, and I just, you know, I really enjoy them. They're just really well-made pieces of gear. This one I just bought like a year and a half ago, and then I've got another one inside this kit that I've had for, I don't know, probably 20 years, and it's a great piece of kit. I've still got my 2026 calendars available, so that, you know, the link's down below for that also, and that's on my Etsy page. And if you have any questions, please let me know about any of the gear. I'm not sponsored. I've purchased all this gear just, you know, over time, or it's been gifts. This was a Christmas gift about 3 years ago. And, you know, some of this other stuff was gifts also, but just, you know, takes time to gather all this gear. But yeah, this is a great little kit. It fits in that bag, and it's an awesome little piece of kit. So it's been Emory Outdoors, and thank you for watching.